There's people who want to project their insecurities, their disbelief, their negativity, their dramas onto you. And you don't have to accept that, by the way. You can stop that. Everything is energy. So you can actually feel when someone is trying to project onto you. And that can happen when your heart is fully open, so you can sense things easier. And once you're closed off, it's very difficult to feel, of course. So it's very difficult to understand when someone is trying to project onto you. But let's give an example. So if someone would have a problem with how you or she is, let me just say you, and they create this story about why they don't like it, why this is happening, why this is that, and then they project it onto you, like saying, hey, you know what, you did this to me, I feel this way and this way because of you, and I want you to stop it. Whilst it might not even be true, right? So that's what projection is that they believe something inside of them that is happening, but then they project it onto you because they want you to resolve the feeling that they have within themselves. And once you play that song, once you play their script, then, yeah, no, you cannot play with that. No, because, yeah, oh, that's a nice book. Yeah, wow, yeah, wow, wow. So once you understand that you can choose whether you are invested in someone else's emotional story, because sometimes it's not true at all. You just have to listen. You have to understand that sometimes it's, like most of the times, it's about ourselves. It's about, okay, so how do you feel? And why do you feel this way? And how can you resolve this within yourself? Like, what do I trigger inside of you? Or what do you, why are you triggered? And in that way, we can resolve things because now we have an open dialogue instead of you did this, you did that, and because of this, this happens, and then this whole explosion can happen. But instead of doing that, we could see, you know what? Okay, so I have this feeling, right? I'm getting triggered, love. And you're sharing this trigger with your partner, or with the people around you, or your friends. And you say, okay, so this is happening, and I hear the story, and I know it's not something I can heal, it's something I can go through, and something I can understand, instead of you should change this and you should change that and you should change this. Then it's all about someone else instead of how you regulate your own system, how you regulate your own feelings. And the more you are aware of that, the more you can become better at regulating emotions, expressing emotions. Instead of, I don't know how to express this emotion, so I'm just gonna explode and I'm just gonna blame my hormones or whatever it might be that you want to blame. It could be the external world, it could be your internal world, it could be whatever trauma it is. But in the end, that trauma or that thing won't go away if you keep blaming someone else for it. And that is when the conclusion happens within yourself, where you decide, you know what, I'm going to take responsibility for what I feel, and then I'm going to do something about it. And if I keep repeating this, that means something is not resolved. If someone outside of me keeps breathing this with me, it's still not resolved within me. Because either I have to give a boundary, either I have to give a boundary within myself, externally as well. That means at one point you can actually resolve those issues. And once you resolve those issues, that means it will never come into it's not to say it will come into your reality. It's just that you're going to say no now. You're going to say, oh, no, wait, this is not mine. I'm not going to regulate this. I'm not going to act upon this because it's not mine. I dealt with this. I understand it. I see you. I hear you in this. And I can give support in where you're going through so that we can resolve this, so that you can resolve this within yourself. And in that way, we can actually have a loving conversation instead of exploding in every trigger that we have and then throwing things at each other constantly. So to go back into the whole projection thing, is that I can go into manifestation, right? Manifestation is the same idea, it's the same philosophy. It's just in a more bigger scale. So in the small scale, projection is, okay, negativity, story, or whatever. Now the other side of it is positivity. A good story, a happy story, a loving story. I know how to communicate, I know how to do this and how to do that. Now, if we take out in a more macro level, so like in a bigger scale, we have the world, we have countries who are projecting their reality, their ideas, their agenda onto the world. And we can either play in that role, play in that script, and build upon that idea, or we could say, no, we want to create something better. We want to create a better world together. We want to create something out of unity instead of destruction. We want to do something out of love for each other instead of hate for each other. And the more we understand this concept, this idea that we can choose to play a certain script inside the world, that means that we can pour our energy more into that script, more into that dream, because that's what manifestation is putting energy into the dream that you're trying to manifest, that you're trying to create, that you want to walk and talk and speak and become that version of you that can create that dream. Now, if we're playing in a version of the dream that people, countries, the world wants to manifest, and it's from negativity, it's from destruction, is it our unconscious that we're unconsciously choosing for that dream, for that manifestation? And this is when people are getting awake, they are aware that they're putting their energy into this dream or that dream, or that projection or that projection, or this idea or that idea. So it's whether it's like even subscribing to a YouTube channel, because you're subscribing to what they would love to express, what they would love to see, and how they see the world, and you can enjoy from it, right? You're investing your time and energy into that. So that's the same with the agenda. That's the same with dreams. That's the same with other things. You're investing your energy in that thing that you love to experience. And that could be your own life. That could be in your daughter's life. That could be in all other things that you do. You're just investing energy, and that grows. So maybe that's the same with the philosophies and theories that we have in the books, in this world, to see, okay, how can we create a utopia? How can we create a better world? How can we create something that is more in harmony with us as human beings on this beautiful planet Earth? And what can we learn from? We need to stop pulling resources out and create scarcity and all these things that as a child we're falling down. So we need to understand, how can we fix the world, instead of pointing fingers at each other of this is happening because of you, because of this, and because of that. It's again external, it's projection. Once we take accountability to ourselves and say, you know what, I can fix the world a little bit by doing the things, becoming an example of how I would love to see the world be in more peace and more love and more harmony, etc., etc. Or even just follow your passion in creating something beautiful for yourself and for the world outside of you. And that to itself is already a simple way of creating a better world. Like, you don't have to save the whole world, you just have to save yourself and become the best version of you.